Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Getting ready to go and do the Progressive Empowerment Party Saturday meet and greet meeting. I just thought I'd do a video about something that's been on my mind for a couple days. And what I'm about to say will I guess it will cause some conflict between me and other people who think they're in the political center, because that space, the political center, is a place where we all think that we have all the correct answers and all the right positions. But sometimes I think that in the center, we jump out and we take a position based on nothing more than what we think to be a popular position at the time. And I want to deal specifically with the issue of the Commissioner of Police, Gary Griffith, this morning. Now, I have a friend on Facebook. His name is, actually I don't even have to give his name. But what he does on every post that I post about anything to do with law and order is he comments, you should go back and work with Gary so the two of y'all could work for Rowley, or y'all could whatever. And it's supposed to be condescending. I want to tell my friend something. Gary Griffith, and the 14 months that I worked with him as his communication advisor, was the only 14 months I have ever experienced in politics in Trinidad and Tobago where I believed we were making a difference. Where I believed that the actions were being predicated on principles of fairness and decency. I watched a man, Gary Griffith, your Commissioner of Police. Now, all of you know, Gary and I have crossed swords publicly on multiples of issues. He is somebody I consider a friend. But you also know that integrity demands that, friend or foe, we're going to deal with the issues from a position of right and wrong and get to the truth. I watch a man, Gary Griffith, over that time, wrestle with conflicts of conscience. I want you to understand this. When those 5 fellas got killed in Trumakak, I got upset. I found out that there were 2 guns and 5 people, and my post was, what did they do? They took turns shooting at the police. Now that's an easy statement to make, and I want to say this, that being in a firefight is different to commenting on a firefight from the safety of behind a keyboard. Being in Trumakak, Lavantil, and being fired upon. Now I know, we all know that there are criminals and corrupt people in everything in this country. We live in a country where priests have raped little boys. So to think that police could be criminal is no stretch of the imagination. We live in a country where the Chamber of Commerce, that should be the last bastion of integrity in commerce, has abdicated its responsibility and become a gang to feast on the nation. When Rudy Paul says Trinidadians have lost hope and we trust nobody, he's not lying. But I'll tell Trinidad and Tobago something this morning, and if I am proven wrong, it is me to eat my words. But I am saying this based on what I see him doing. I want to tell you this. When Gary Griffith was appointed Commissioner of Police, he could have taken that post and fade. Stephen Williams faded. Philbert faded. You don't even know these names. I'm going to call names for commissioners of police and you will say, oh shit, yes, he was commissioner. The job is to fade. The job is to take the job, collect the salary, collect the perks, enjoy the blue lights, defend your pension. That's the work. Commissioner of Police in Trinidad and Tobago. Because Trinidad and Tobago is a corrupt and broken nation. Gary Griffith could have taken that job. And Gary don't know I doing this video this morning. And forget what Gary think about it. But I think I need you all to put the wheels back on the tracks. Because I think we have only one good person in any public office. Yes, he's a human being and he'll make jackass mistakes and he'll talk shit. Gary's biggest problem is that Gary don't back down. In a lot of things, that is a good thing. In some things, it comes across arrogant and narcissistic, and it gives the armchair critics things to work with. Now, I understand God Christopher's position. God wants to fight for the dispossessed and the depressed in the at-risk communities, and God Christopher needs to continue that mission. But I want to say that the process, there has to be a process. And we cannot continue to let the best be the enemy of the good. We can't continue to say, yeah, you find one, God find all the rest. Because yes, that's how we feel. I am guilty of it too. But the truth of the matter is, if we don't give kudos to people who are at least trying, why would they want to try? Gary is in every right to take that job and fade. Right now, Gary is shielding the government because Gary is operating at a high level and not fading. Gary is defending the police service. Gary is defending law and order. Gary is defending himself. When Gary goes and sits on the television with Fazir Mohammed, or calls in to be interviewed by Hema Ramkisoon, or goes and stands up with Stefan Rees on Breaking Dawn, he is having the courage of his convictions and defending his position. Imagine this country this morning if Ivor Archie could be dragged on those talk shows. There are questions we need Ivor Archie to answer, Chief Justice of Trinidad and Tobago. There are questions he needs to answer. Imagine if we could drag him on those shows. Imagine if we could drag Roger Gaspar, the Director of Public Prosecutions. There are questions the public wants to know from the Director of Public Prosecutions that we would like asked. But the DPP doesn't have to come on those shows. And the Chief Justice doesn't have to come on those shows. The President of the Republic doesn't have to come on those shows. Even the Prime Minister doesn't have to come on those shows. The Commissioner of Police could fade. The Commissioner of Police could appoint a Wayne Meister, or that other woman whose name escapes me right now, as a spokesperson for the police service, and let them talk. And the truth of the matter is, this is a stunting country that doesn't know its right from its whereabouts. So you will get the police position and the Ian Allen position. You will find your agenda political position and talk. We do not engage in critical thinking as a nation to our detriment, and still Gary Griffith is out there defending his job, the police service, and the rule of law. And I want to say today that we have one good man in a public office in Trinidad and Tobago, and that is Gary Griffith. And I support Gary Griffith as Commissioner of Police and Commissioner of Police. And the moment something happens in the police service that I disagree with, I am the loudest voice. But I have said for years that police officers are the only people in this country that wake up and dress to go to work and put themselves in deliberate harm's way for strangers. People who will never appreciate what they do. Never. Especially because we have rogues. We are a lazy nation. We want to be able to lie down on our bed in our drawers, sit down on our couch in our tighty whities and ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta-ta. We want to do that whole day. We don't want to do jack all for anybody else. So instead of trying to raise our game, we want to pull everybody else down. And that's cool. That's cool. But check yourself. Check and see what you're ignoring. The Ministry of Housing almost drowned the people of Greenvale. The Ministry of Housing is criminally liable for what took place in Greenvale. Why is the media not hounding Randall Mitchell? Why? Because Randall Mitchell is a shit snake, a spot warmer. He does nothing for the job. Collect the salary, defend the perks, get the blue lights, and fade. Nobody's expecting Randall Mitchell to know his ass from his elbow. So even if Randall Mitchell came on the TV, we would automatically be expecting bullshit. It's like Shamfa Kujo. You don't expect Shamfa Kujo to know anything about sport. We have, this country has two of the most recognized sports voices in the world, Shaka Hislop, Atto Bolan. We use neither. We have Dwight York, Russell Atterby, and Michael Phillips. We use none of them. Who do we get? A Tobago stunter girl, Shamfa Kuju. Sports is a massive foreign exchange earner and the most effective way to fly your national flag. We put a stunter girl. If Hamer and Fazir and Stefan bring Shamfa on the TV in the morning, all you will expect is bullshit. That's all you will expect. Bullshit. You're not going to expect a real honest interview from somebody who's supposed to know the job because you expect that she doesn't. Look at the entire cabinet. The minister of, forget just now, to have a cabinet, you need a prime minister and an attorney general. Nobody trusts our attorney general as an attorney general. We believe as a private individual and a lawyer, he is guilty of plenty suspect acts that in a real country, he would have either been disbarred for or charged and prosecuted for. Faris Al-Rawi, and that is your attorney general. I sticking a pen in the prime minister for now, Coming to the prime minister last. Look at your minister of finance. He is widely distrusted, mistrusted, readily believed to be a criminal and a crook. Colm Imbert. The entire nation believes him to be incompetent, arrogant, and a crook. And he's your minister of finance. He was a failure as your minister of works. That is the epitome of a miniature stunting jackass. Colm Imbert. You don't want to see Colm Imbert on Fazil Sean Hamer show, and you know that. But flip the script, because this is not just to entertain the UNC crew. Because the UNC crew knew they brought Suroj Rambachan and Emmanuel George and Gavin Nicholas and Anand Ramlogan into the conversation. Anand Ramlogan is a more than capable lawyer, but an absolute jackass. Anand Ramlogan is an excellent attorney, but a total and complete jackass. And that is what ruined Anand Ramlogan. Like it ruined Ramesh Lawrence Maharaj. Ramesh Lawrence Maharaj will be remembered after he dies for the good things that he did. But for all of his living life left, all he'll be remembered for is the bad. This is Trinidad and Tobago, and I'm painting all of this again to bring you back to Gary Griffith. As Commissioner of Police in a country this broken, this lawless, a nation that accepted 10,000 murders. We accepted 10,000 murders. We allowed Stephen Cadiz to drag Keith Noel's corpse all through Port of Spain, calling it the Keith Noel 136 committee, the 186, I can't remember which, and stand up on that boy coffin to get himself in government with the UNC and forget for 5 years that Keith Noel was murdered. This is a country where take the job, take the perks, enjoy the blue lights, work for the pension. That's Trinidad and Tobago. That's this country. So when we talking about a commissioner of police who is breaking the mold, who cancel Christmas and Diwali celebrations for police, say, you know what? We don't have money for that. Let me work. It's going to send a message. That's a commissioner of police who I readily expect to prosecute rogue police officers. And I am certain, sitting here this morning, that investigations are underway against criminal police in the ranks. I am almost absolutely certain. But that is also a commissioner of police that will defend the police officers. And that's the commissioner's first job. What Trinidad and Tobago needs, and what I am suggesting to Gary Griffith, is that he gets a proper internal affairs unit. But I don't think that is his call to make. That is a parliament, that is an act of parliament, that is legislation. We are supposed to, because the police, the Professional Services Commission, the Police Complaints Division, and the Police Complaints Authority, those three things, I don't know what they do. I don't know what they do. I don't know what they accomplish. They're like a fly swatter in a locust swarm. They'll give you the feeling that something could be done, but you know, truly, really and truly, it may not be. It absolutely may not be. We live in a country where the entire system is broken. Nothing works. Nothing makes sense. To the police officers who are tired of going into these same danger zones, these same rat holes, to go after these same professional, serial, lifelong committed criminals and locking them up only to have the justice system release them in a couple of days. It goes nowhere. It is frustrating to police to go and sit down in court and look at these people, get their lives threatened regularly. We don't know, you know. We think we know. We think what we watch on TV is what is going on in the real world. But Trinidad and Tobago is a completely lawless society. Enter into that conversation Gary Griffith, who did not take the job, collect the perks, benefit from the blue lights, and fade. He is dealing with the issues that matter. And he is coming into the public space and engaging the public in a conversation to keep you in the loop. I want to say to Trinidad and Tobago this morning, hold him to his promises. Gary's a fella, he like them kind of argument. Gary will argue with you for 3 days. He will go and sleep, plan his rebuttal, and come back. So hold Gary to what he says. Forget the rest of the stunters. You live in a country where your prime minister has been named in criminal acts. Landate, Cleaver Heights, AV Oil. This is Keith Christopher Rowley, your prime minister, who used the parliament to commit an act in another nation he would have been charged with treason for. Emailgate was a treasonous act. It was an attempt to overthrow a democratically elected government by trick. And we live in a country where we okay. That done. The FBI, Google, we ain't know what the ass we saying, but we're talking shit because we don't want to face the facts that we live in a broken nation where the prime minister, you see how they don't let Donald Trump off the hook? They will have him under a microscope with his feet to the fire for as long as he is president. They did it to Barack Obama, they did it to Bill Clinton, they did it to Ronald Reagan. All these people that you remembering fondly now, Bill Clinton was impeached, Ronald Reagan was almost impeached, George W. Bush they wanted to charge him. In this country, the Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago could have committed treason in the parliament. And we let that go. We let that go. We don't hold him to that. This is a country where a Minister of Justice in the People's Partnership Government, Herbert Volney, the elected member of Parliament for St. Joseph, a former High Court judge, admitted publicly to perverting the course of the legislature, hijacking a law to rewrite it and corrupt it to the benefit of criminals from the former UNC under Basdeo Pandey, wanted in international jurisdiction for bid rigging, money laundering, and other corruption activities. Herbert Volney admitted to that publicly and was not arrested, was not charged, was not prosecuted, and was not jailed. Herbert Volney misbehaved in public office worse, hear me here, worse than what Abu Bakr did in 1990, because Herbert Volney was inside the parliament. What Abu Bakr and his band of thugs needed guns to do, Herbert Volney swore on a Bible to protect. That without fear or favor, malice or ill will, he would serve the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. And he wasn't arrested, and he wasn't prosecuted, and he wasn't charged. This is a country where we forget we have a 9 days. Eric Williams consigned the people of this country to a lifelong, numb, morbid stupidity. We forget that we have a responsibility as a nation to light the media on fire, to tell them, miss me with the bullshit, bring your Minister of Housing, let him answer. If he can't answer, fire his ass. Bring your Minister of Sport, put her in the hot seat. If she can't answer, Firehouse. Where's the Attorney General? Where's the Minister of Finance? How do you have a country that magically had a recession and magically came out of a recession when it needed to be? How do you have a nation where the chairman of Petrotrin and the Minister of Energy could both openly lie to the nation and in one quarter say Petrotrin is profitable and in the next quarter say it is ruining the nation? We have allowed all of this to take place by our laissez-faire attitude, by our failure to stand up for our country. This is me, dressed, ready. My Saturdays are politics. My Saturdays, all my Saturdays, Progressive Empowerment Party meeting. Every Saturday we have a meeting. And this is what we discuss. How to make Trinidad and Tobago a better place, a more democratic place, a place where hope could reign again, integrity, morality, decency, goodness. We need to get back to there. But we are not getting back to there by playing best bullshit artists sitting down behind a computer or a phone saying, well, I know, I go watch you for 20 years. If you look like you're doing a good job, I might throw a vote your way. You're being a hog. You're being a pig. You're living in slop. You're living in mud. And you're telling me, if I look like I know what I'm doing, you will let me open the gate and let you out. Listen now, this country is not this broken. The 1% didn't steal the trillions of dollars they stole by accident. They predicated it on your laziness, your apathy, your foolishness, your inbred, innate racism. That all they had to do was turn you on somebody else and you will forget your responsibility to yourself, your loved one, your neighbors, and the nation. And we've done that for 56 years. We've run this country like juveniles, like children, like mommy and daddy gone. We in the kitchen and we eating all the ice cream and all the cake. But at some point, that will run out. And at some point, somebody's going to say, hey, fridge empty. Where do we go from here? We are there now. We're there. That's where we are. Enter into that whole conversation. And my friend, who is giving me stick for supporting Gary Griffith, show up when I was the one busting pressure on Gary Griffith. You don't have the following I have. So when I give Gary stick, he's get good stick. But I want to say this to Trinidad and Tobago. I fully endorse Gary Griffith as Commissioner of Police. I hope that he continues to stand strong in the bright glare of public opinion and set a standard for the rest of every other single public office holder, so that the people of Trinidad and Tobago could dawn on you that the reason the price of food is this high is because Clarence Rambarat, as Minister of Agriculture, is as big a shithong as the UNC's Minister of Agriculture, because neither of those stunting jackasses are growing food in a nation that if you spit a pawpaw seed or a Portugal seed, they grow it. We live in a country where the madness, the maniac madness of our nation is as a direct result of our failure to stand up for our country and demand better. So when you see a man like Gary Griffith take that shit work, because I ain't no fun job, being Commissioner of Police in this country, to come from outside and deal with the madness and the mayhem of the rogues and criminality inside the police service, because you know they're there. You know they're there. And he take that work and he defending it. If you have 1 ounce of self-preservation, stand with that man. Tell Gary Griffith, I support you this morning, bro. Go hard. Now, that doesn't mean we want extrajudicial killings. What we want is the Chief Justice to be dragged onto the media too and defend. You see, the same way Gary could defend the police service, defend what's going on in the courts, defend the judiciary. Why are we in such a state of disrepair? Why are we in such a state of collapse? These are the issues for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. Stop being lazy. Stop thinking your job starts and ends when you put a little red ink on your finger and you vote for somebody. That's not the process. The process is you elect somebody and then you defend that decision. You hold them to that job. And if they don't do it, you'll be the first one to say, fire them. That's the role and the responsibilities of citizens in a democracy. The better country that we want, it starts today. We meet at noon, 19 Stanmore Avenue. If you want a better Trinidad and Tobago, Fire truck me. You replace me. Do it better than me. Stand up. Raise your voice. Raise the issues. Change the conversation. Influence the narrative. Make sure bullshit and roti politics is not the conversation this nation having. Make sure every single morning and every single evening what we're talking about is what is wrong and how to make it better. And that's what the Progressive Empowerment Party does. The Progressive Empowerment Party, that's what we do. We not only demonstrate to you what is completely wrong in Trinidad and Tobago, we give you all the ways and means and programs, policies and ideas. We bring that to the conversation. You want to do better? Meet us at noon, 19 Stanmore Avenue. Come, let's have that conversation. Let's bring the people together. I saw a picture of 1.6 million people in Russia went to attend a Metallica concert, and they fit in a space no bigger than the Savannah. So I know that if we wanted, 1.4 million of us could meet. We could meet Queen's Park, Savannah, and I'm going to organize that meeting. All you have to do is show up. You want a better Trinidad and Tobago? Start now. Start today. Change your plans. Look at me. I could have a million things that I could do today, and I am sacrificing my Saturday for my country again, as I have done with practically every Saturday since January 18, 2017. What are you doing with yours? What are you doing for your country? How are you making this broken and blighted land better and more prosperous and hopeful for a better future? You want a better Trinidad and Tobago? You have to get involved. Today at noon we meet, 19 Stanmore Avenue. You do not have to be a member to join. And you certainly don't have to agree with me to talk to me. But if you want a better country, sure, at least have the decency to do that. Stay safe, Trinidad and Tobago.